Hello, I'm Alex Drummond, Executive Editor for Metro Magazine, and I'll be your moderator for today's event. I encourage you to ask questions during the webinar at any point. We will try to address them all. However, if we do not get to yours, you'll be contacted by email with a response after the event. It's a pleasure to have you all here today as we dive into the topic of charging solutions for rail applications and the latest advancements with USB-C technology. We're excited to collaborate with industry experts like EEO and look forward to learning more about the evolution of charging solutions, along with the benefits on how it can enhance user experience. Presenting from EEO will be Gemma Burkett and Peter Fairchild. Gemma is a rail industry professional with 20 years of experience in leading global train manufacturers. Her experience covers HMI switching systems used within driver cabs and passenger access solutions, rail LED lighting assemblies, and phone and laptop charging solutions for passengers' portable devices. Peter is a fully qualified engineer and specialist in rail applications for the last 15 years, who also covers HMI switching systems used within driver cabs, train doors, LED lighting assemblies, and product innovation and development with phone and laptop charging solutions. We have two very qualified individuals to speak on behalf of this interesting and unavoidable topic. With that, I'll pass you on to Gemma and Peter to share the knowledge on this subject matter and guide us through the presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Welcome to the webinar this morning on charging solutions. We're going to look at customer experience with USB-C and more. So the purpose of today's webinar is to explain and give a bit more background and detail into why device charging improves the travelling experience for today's connected passenger. We're going to take a little look at the EU shift to USB-C and how that is already having an influence on North America. We will also take a look at wireless charging, so that's inductive charging. And we will also look at multi-voltage power supplies, which can support both phone and laptop charging. And then we'll have a little look at the design considerations and the future of onboard charging. And then we'll have some time at the end for some questions. So, first, a quick introduction about EAO for those of you who may not be familiar with our company. EAO AG is known as an expert partner for HMI, human-machine interfaces. We are a Swiss family-owned company founded in 1947, and we've developed into one of the world's leading manufacturers of high-quality industrial switches, complete with custom HMI panels and interface systems and specialist automotive control and command components. With over 600 dedicated employees, EAO has a global product development, production and distribution network at its disposal. Our range of services and our expertise allow us to offer complete individual and systems-based HMI solutions in key markets. We focus on the following markets: machinery, automotive, heavy-duty and specialist vehicles, and of course transportation, which is the area we're going to speak more about today. Our expertise covers many applications and products. Here's a snapshot of our transport applications. Passenger access, where our switches allow passengers to connect to call for aid systems or open and close doors. Driver cabs, where our switches and indicators allow the driver to control all aspects of the train and provide status feedback. Restrooms, control of the doors, locks, hand dryers, for example. Seat reservation systems, a new product to the EAO family, providing clear, easily readable feedback about seat reservations. And we regularly work with train operators and refurbishers on retrofit and modernisation programmes, updating antiquated systems with new and modern HMI. We often supply HMI systems and solutions in place of simple components, providing high-quality plug-and-play solutions. So you can see we already have a significant footprint in the rail market. Another strong focus for us is the area of mobile device charging, and I'm going to present more on this subject in the coming slides. The user experience is as good as its weakest link. If it fails, the brand becomes damaged, as it is most often perceived as a failure of the core system itself. This is what we are going to discuss. As the statement reads, maximum performance of equipment is expected, whether it be in the industrial or commercial environment. It is the established standard. Nothing is more frustrating than when equipment or features fail. When usability is impacted by the first touch point, the user interface, the irritation level can dramatically increase, which can result in a tarnished or damaged brand. That's why it's so important to understand the application environment and to employ design practices to best implement a solution which incorporates the user's feels, thinks, and experiences. The goal is easy, seamless interactions that result in positive experiences. Today, we're going to discuss the transition to USB-C, which is a clear driver in the way that device charging is developing. Europe has proposed a mandate in 2022, which comes into force this year, where USB-C will be the mandatory charging port for portable devices. This covers laptops, phones, tablets, cameras, etc. The aim is much more simplicity for the customer, while also delivering environmental benefits. Even though the USB-C mandate has been introduced in Europe, the ripples are already being felt across the world, including the US. Large global manufacturers or brands like Apple, for example, create standardized designs of their products to avoid multiple variants with different connectors per territory. There are many advantages of the USB-C connector. It is easy to source, it's bi-directional, so much easier for a customer to use. It has high bandwidth, so it's good for 4K monitors and VR headsets, as well as simple charging. And it can reach up to 100 watts of power, so it can offer fast charging. A huge driver for the provision of charging on trains is the passenger experience. There have been multiple studies carried out by the likes of LG and others that have identified what we refer to as low battery anxiety. As more and more functionality moves to our phones and devices, like mobile ticketing or apps to arrange taxi transport, etc., the need to keep a phone charged becomes ever more important. This photograph shows a typical train, anywhere across the globe, full of connected passengers. They're not talking to each other, they're far too busy connected to their mobile phones and to the world. They're multitasking while travelling, texting, maybe working or making video calls to friends and family, reading the latest news or even shopping or online gaming. When you have no charge on your mobile phone and it runs out of power, you lose connection to the whole world. It's very difficult to function without your smartphone. No phone means everything stops, and we call this low battery anxiety. It's the feeling of needing to get a top up because your phone is about to run out of power. And what you need is opportunistic charging, the ability to get a top up here and there to make sure that you never run out of power. These days, modern smartphones offer the ability to charge with or without a cable, so there are many charging opportunities that can be offered to passengers. We're now going to play you a short video with real-life market feedback. We really wanted to understand what passengers think about charging solutions on trains. Do they really have problems? What kind of problems do they have? And what are they expecting as a paying passenger?
Did you buy your tickets online?
Yes, I did.
No, because I don't rely on the mobile phone with enough charge.
How do you feel when your phone is low on power and you're on the train journey?
I panic. I panic. I pay with my phone all the time, so sometimes I do forget my cards at home, so it's really important that my phone would be charged.
Always thought about that, being really scared.
If you use electronic tickets, it means you don't have your ticket to show, and that can be very stressful.
It's very, very nerve-wracking, and I sometimes can't do anything else with my phone and turn it off until I get to, need to show the ticket.
Absolutely annoyed. I have to carry a power pack, which is just inconvenient.
Do you need to charge your devices during your journey?
I do. I definitely do. Yeah, my battery is quite ruined, so yeah, I really need.
Anything that charges your phone on the hoof is a really good thing. Yeah, because I move around an awful lot, so having a charged phone is quite important.
Have you ever found it hard to charge your phone on the train?
Yes, many times, especially with a particular train line, it doesn't actually work.
Not every seat has a charging facility, but it's a bonus when you do get one that has a plug. You think, yeah, yeehaw. And sometimes I move seats.
I've had loads where you plug it in and it just doesn't work at all. And then most trains don't have them as well. And
really hard. Sometimes I need to look for, and I'm going to drop my things on my way when I'm looking for the cable slots and stuff. My handbag all on the floor. Sometimes, yeah, I don't want all the stuff.
And it's horrible when there isn't a charger on the train. That's also very nerve-wracking. Like this morning, there wasn't a charger on my train.
We analysed this survey. It's a recent UK YouGov survey where almost 400 UK-based train travellers were interviewed in July 2023. They were aged between 23 and 88, and their needs are quite staggering. Almost half of passengers now use e-tickets, and when you look at a slightly younger age group, 70% of people are using e-tickets. That means they constantly need charge. 47%, so almost half again, do need to charge their phones on trains, and 46% of the passengers couldn't charge or weren't sure if they could charge. There's 28% of these passengers consider that USB-C sockets are important, and 74% want to see the next generation wireless charging, USB-C charging, or a combination of both on trains. The share of devices with Qi or QI wireless charging is growing. Even so, a mix of charging technologies is still going to be needed. Wireless is becoming more prevalent in phones, however. As mentioned previously, the USB-C mandate in Europe is having a worldwide effect. For example, the iPhone 15 onwards now has no Lightning connectors, but a USB-C instead. In addition to the many benefits to the user, the recent USB-C connector mandate has additional benefits when we think about environmental issues. This is another huge driver and is another way rail companies can reduce their impact on the environment. USB-Cs allow us to minimize the charging time, which therefore creates less of a power demand. It also can reduce the need for precious metals and plastics, with less adapters needed to plug into main sockets. And it can reduce the production of unnecessary or uncommon components. Also reduces the need for constant new components or continual upgrades, and it can promote the reuse of existing devices such as adapters. The sockets are also a repairable item, which can lessen waste. And this can help mitigate the environmental impact of discarded chargers or wires and contribute to a much more sustainable environment. A reduction in cable and wiring can also be offered by using a single mains connection into the power supplies, which then provide further sockets for customers to charge through. Things to consider when choosing the charging provisions to include inside a train. Device charging technology is moving at speed with advancements in both wireless and USB-C technologies. Most phones now have Qi wireless charging. There's also options to put magnetic coupling or magnetic locating rings on these to make the charging much more efficient. Charging power requirements of 10 or 15 watts are the fast charging levels for most phones. And multi-voltage high power charging using PPS or power delivery now enables tablets and laptops to be charged via the same USB-C connector. We've talked already that the new choice of connector is USB-C. This will help trains to be future-proofed in their build. If we look at the EAO wireless charging designs in a bit more detail, our 10-watt wireless charger can also provide a USB output. Users can draw 10 watts from either the wireless charger or 10 watts from the USB connection, or alternatively 5 watts from each connection when used simultaneously. In other words, if you're charging wirelessly and also have the cable plugged into another device, those 10 watts are shared across both devices. Our latest addition to the wireless charging family is the Slider Flex. It provides a robust unit that can be mounted to the back of airline-style seating and offers wireless charging to passengers with the phone in either a landscape or portrait mode as it charges. This still maintains the USB-C connection at the bottom of the unit as well. Further variants of this design are shown here. On the left, you can see a grab pole, and on the right, you can see a bulkhead or wall-mounted version. Both of these are designed for use on a metro train or subway train, offering opportunistic charging on short commutes, where the passenger physically keeps hold of their phone in their hand and just places it on the wireless charger. This design means that they don't let go of the phone and are less likely to leave it behind accidentally when they leave the vehicle. If we look at tables, we have various solutions to mount wireless chargers in tabletops, either sub-mounted under the surface or in housings to be mounted from the top. This allows both new build and retrofit designs. There's two examples here of installations on trains. The installation at the top is an underside mounted charger using our single coil unit, showing graphics on the table that are incorporated into the surface covering. The lower image shows the chargers that have been installed from the top. They're still using the same single coil units, but this time in a housing. This allows retrofitting onto existing tables, and we provide a variety of mounting brackets and clamps to hold them securely in place. In both of these photographs, you can see that the charger does have pass-through 5-volt USB charging installed at the table edge. This also allows cable attachment for the customer. PAO offer both IP40 and IP65 rail-compliant power supplies and custom cable assemblies. Depending where the power supply is mounted will depend on the level of sealing needed. Voltage inputs match the train supply feed, and the outputs are tailored to the solution being fitted. And that could be either our wireless chargers running at 12 or 5 volts, or it could be our PPS USB-C options where you have a multi-voltage. We can also advise on long cable runs and can help calculate resistive voltage drops for optimum charging. If it's a very long run, it's very important that the 5, 12 or 20 volts still gets to the device. We've mentioned previously the advancement of USB-C, and one of those is now that it's able to offer the ability to charge larger, more power-hungry devices such as laptops. The power delivery and PPS standards allow both laptops and mobiles to charge from the same source, which is capable of various voltages to match the connected device. We also reviewed another survey, again a YouGov UK survey, this time with 500 UK residents. They're not necessarily train travellers. We asked them about laptop charging. So 37% of people already have laptop charging, and this increases to 43% when you look at a slightly lower age group of 23 to 34. There's 28% of people didn't know if their laptop had USB-C or didn't yet own a laptop. This could increase the number of USB-C results if they knew or if they purchased a laptop. The next generation USB-C can charge phones, tablets and laptops without the need for a dangerous 230 or 110 AC feed on board. One of the reasons that we're trying so hard to get USB-C programmable power supplies on trains is due to safety. We really want to get the mains off the trains. There are a number of instances we have been told about where passengers have used substandard third-party mains adapters which have broken in use, leaving them able to touch live mains pins. Offering USB-C instead of mains means that the train operator is controlling the number and types of devices that can be charged or powered. Train operators want to keep control of the types of devices that passengers are able to power on their trains. The move to USB-C replacing mains restricts the devices so that heat generating devices such as hair straighteners or flat irons can no longer be used, reducing another risk factor. The features of the USB-C PPS and power delivery power supply. USB-C PPS power supply, which provides two independent outputs up to 60 watts each on each side, meeting the latest USB-C and PPS multi-voltage specification, means that each output between 5 and 20 volts at a current of up to 3.25 amps can power either a phone, a tablet or a laptop. The device will communicate with the power supply and negotiate the correct voltage for its need at the time. If there is still a need for a traditional 230 or 110 volt 3-pin socket, then our power supply do offer a pass-through option. Now we know that every train is different, and part of our focus in offering solutions, especially for refurbishment, is being able to offer customised mounting plates, cable runs, instructions for every single train. We appreciate that the profile of seats can change from train to train and fleet to fleet, and the power needs and cable needs are also different. So part of the service that we would offer is a schematic such as the above, and that can show you where power supplies should be located, how they can be connected, where cables can be run, and the various different charging options that could be installed. Working with an expert partner such as EAO can alleviate the design burden, and we can take that responsibility from you. So the full range. The range is comprehensive. We have the slide effects, which we showed us slightly earlier, suitable for seat backs and bulkheads, single coil and multi-coil chargers, which can be integrated into tables and seats, table mounting top loading chargers, and USB-C sockets with PPS multi-voltage power supplies. Although USB-C is being implemented in Europe already, the US must also be ready for this change. It's happening by way of a soft introduction, but it will force this change through, and it's important to be ready. It's important to remember that USB sockets can be a point of weakness in public use, so they need to be easily serviceable and replaceable. USB-A is certainly dying out and will be replaced by USB-C over time. When we purchase new cars in the UK, we can no longer get USB-A sockets. Those are all USB-C now. And new USB-C PPS standards will enable charging at higher voltages and higher power for a range of portable devices. Our engineering design service and expert knowledge helps our customers develop their charging systems and future-proof their trains. The economic benefits are clear. Future-proofing hardware reduces the need for design upgrades and new equipment. It keeps maintenance costs lower because we use ruggedized and durable devices. Low-skilled workers can replace USB-C connectors, which are the weak point, as compared to higher-skilled, more costly professionals for full systems. There's an increased product lifetime, which gives higher operability and reduced downtime, and an additional revenue potential with branding opportunities. This can also reduce the carbon footprint by minimizing waste. From the user experience point of view, a positive experience improves brand loyalty and increases brand recognition. You can increase your competitive advantage with added value and better customer engagement, and help reduce your passengers' frustrations that are caused by low battery anxiety. Decreased cable clusters with universal connectors improve customer convenience, and faster data rates and technological efficiency can be given due to increased power delivery. Future-proofing charging systems by meeting the new standard is a way to increase the passenger experience, and it can also safeguard against passenger injuries by eliminating the liability of direct power interaction. And we're ready for questions, Alex.
Great. Thank you, Gemma. That was great. Yeah, I just kind of wondering, just from the top, Peter, did you have anything that you would maybe like to add before we get into the questions?
I'd like to thank Gemma for the excellent presentation that she's just been through. Gemma is the PM responsible for this product range, and she has full worldwide coverage of the future development and the way we're going to move forward with this range. And as I say, her expertise knowledge is excellent and second to none. I'm here as a engineering support with regards to any questions that anyone has from the presentation, and also to assist in any future sort of where we may be going. So, yeah, I'd like to thank Gemma. Excellent presentation.
Yes, thanks again, Gemma. We'll start with our first question. Do you offer full integration and ergonomic design capability, including CAD and step files?
Yeah, what we're finding more and more now is that customers' expectations are for full integration design development, and we're working more and more with seat manufacturers and table manufacturers in partnership with the train builders in integrating our product into the seat or the table. The thing that's important here is that we have to adhere to all the safety regulations within the market and all the crash regulations. And we have expert partners that we work with ensuring that we adhere to all these regulations. We're also able to take customers' step files of their table and seat and introduce our product in a way that is the most efficient way for our product to operate, and also for lifelong maintenance of our product. We are looking at the sort of 30-year life of product here, and what we want to try and do is to keep maintenance costs as low as possible by having our product easily replaceable if it needs to be replaced. An example is a power supply we manufacture at the moment. It's got about 130-year mean time between failure. So the power supply is the strongest part of the product. The weakest part is the connector itself on a USB. It's got 20,000 connections. That's the item that has to be replaced. So within our ergonomic designs, we always look at the low-cost replacement with the idea that the customer at maintenance level can maybe change out that component within 5 or 10 minutes without removing the seat and with the lowest green footprint. So we work very closely on the ergonomics here. So is there another question?
Yeah, I had a question. With train travel being so ubiquitous in Europe and that sort of thing, are you seeing a lot of rail suppliers or rail providers, switch over and make the switch now? Are you seeing a lot of proactivity in the market?
What we're seeing is a lot of activity in the market with regards to next generation trains and new build. We're at this changeover point at the moment where there's a moving from main sockets over to USB-C. And we're sort of at this crossroads where the train companies are saying, well, we might need to keep the main socket because historical use of people's phones and laptops and chargers. And on the other hand saying, but we've got a train that's going to last for 30 years. So there's this crossroads. What we are trying to do is to give assistance in this, where we're now developing products where we've got 2 PPS USB sockets, and in the center, we've still got a main socket. But the intention is that that main socket can be easily replaced 4 or 5 years from now by actually taking off the front cover, removing the main socket, putting the blanking plug in, and putting the front cover back on. So at very little cost, we're actually removing the main socket, but we're maintaining the existing molding. So once again, we're thinking ahead and trying to be green. The whole idea here is really to try and save money for the customer. And if we save money for the customer, we're invariably most probably saving money and with regards to production costs and materials. So it is a key area. But yeah, we're at this crossroads. It's one of these things, not quite sure whether it's going to happen or not. There's some trains that are likely to be built now that in the next 3 or 4 years, they're going to go, we need to upgrade them again. So
right.
We're in that sort of swing position at the moment.
Yeah, always the issue with technology, right? It
is.
Always being a step ahead. Gemma, did you have anything you would like to add?
No, I think Peter's answered that really well.
Great. Let's get on to the next question. Can EAO design and supply the mechanical and wiring installation for the chargers?
Yeah, once again, what we're trying to do is to offer a whole package, so like a one-stop shop for a customer. So what we're able to do is design the products and also do an installation program where we actually write all the installation instructions. We'll do the safety case. We'll make sure that everything meets all the local regulations. And we can also, working in partnership with people, supply the installation team to actually install the product. So we work in partnership with several companies where they have the expertise we don't, but what we are able to do is to bring it together as a single package, so it makes it far easier for our end customer. They can just do a one-stop shop with us. Okay.
Great. Yeah, I should have added at the beginning of this question and answer session. We have two professionals here that if you're interested in asking any questions, now is the time to put them in. We can move into the next question, which was kind of along the market or along the lines of what my next question was. How do you see the rollout of your technology in the North American city transit market?
Yeah, we are very keen to get into the North American city transit market. We're now doing our first installation on the West Coast. What we're finding is that technology and new technologies can sometimes have a level of resistance, and what we're now trying to do is to get into the market and show that what we are offering is really the future. It's where the market's moving to. And new technologies, if introduced correctly, actually improve the brand, improve the equipment. And what we're really trying to do is to make sure that our technology has the reliability built in, because there's nothing worse than putting technology into a market that then immediately starts letting the market down. The other thing is with our technology, the charging technology that we produce is purely charging. Yeah. So at the moment, there is no major communication on the data lines. Our product is charging only, because there is also a worry with regards of people plugging phones in, of data theft and all that. Our product is purely doing the charging circuit only. We have no data links at all to any phone, whether it be inductive or cable. So it is a case that, I say, rollout of new technologies can be tough sometimes. I think we find it slightly easier in Europe, because Europe is very much pushing ahead with technology, and that's where the USB-C regulation came in, that anything now manufactured in Europe has to have a USB-C as a charger. And, you know, we have the legislation that pushes the technology forward. I think in North America, it's something that we really need to work on, and to show that our product can bring the reliability and the passenger benefit. So, you know, my colleagues in the US are doing a great job there, and that's the reason why we're having this seminar today as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you, I mean, outside of just, is this pretty much focused on passenger rail here in North America, or are you looking at other markets, you know, related to kind of transit and passenger transportation?
Well, I think on the charging side, it's very new to the market, but EAO in North America, I think, has had a footprint in there with regards to a lot of the driver cap stuff and other technology and other systems within the marketplace. So for us, it is a case now of trying to be the market leader on the charging technologies. And from our point of view, we want to try and champion the passengers' needs, because a lot of this is what we're doing at the moment is really direct at the passenger. And it's to improve the passengers' travelling experience, but at the same time, in doing that, hopefully we improve the end customer's experience with regards to increased travel from passengers and good feedback.
Gotcha. Okay. Next question, and again, if anyone has a question, now is the time. We're down to just a couple questions left here. You mentioned that the shift is being driven by regulatory oversight in the UK and Europe. Is it commonplace that those trends start in those regions and filter to North America?
I think an example has to be the USB-C, because up until the iPhone 15, you also had the Lightning connector, but Apple have now had to move over to the USB-C to be able to sell the iPhone 15 onwards in Europe. So in the same way, the next generation of phones being sold in North America are also going to be USB-C. So it is a case that because the European market is so large, that there are certain regulations there that will filter through for companies that are multinational. And if they're selling, what Apple don't want to do is be selling USB-C phones in Europe and then Lightning phones other places of the world. It's a case of, they're moving with the regulatory requirements in Europe. And it is a big market, Europe. And I must admit, it's rare sometimes that Europe can sort of move an American company like Apple in this way, but it's the way things are happening now. And what we're trying to do is be very proactive in the marketplace and make sure that our product, whilst it's regulatory in Europe, but it's also ideally suited to be introduced into North America now. So, there are new contracts that are being developed, and I think the American market at the moment is at this starting to embrace public transport and growth in railway. At the moment, in Europe, there's a major explosion in train requirements because flights that are less than an hour or less than an hour and a half have got to be replaced by train journeys in the future. They're trying to actually reduce all flights in Europe that are, less than an hour and a half. So that's another thing that Europe are pushing on. And I think whether North America and America is going to be looking at moving the same way, trying to get more travel by train and high-speed trains and less by air. And then you're at a point where if you're on a train slightly longer, you want the comfort of charging your phone, possibly internet access, it all follows. So we're really trying to sort of be there to assist in that growth in the market.
Great. Well, thanks for your time, guys. That's all the time we have for today. But for anyone who asked a question that wasn't answered, we'll be following up via email to answer your questions individually. We hope that you all enjoyed today's webinar. I want to again thank Gemma Burkett, Peter Fairchild, and EEO for today's presentation. I also want to mention that this webinar will be available on demand on the Metro Magazine website at metro-magazine.com/webinars. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.